Nigeria. This was disclosed in a statement signed by Femi Adesina, Special Advisor to Buhari on Media and Publicity. According to him, the president, who received letters of credence from the United Kingdom High Commissioner and his counterpart from the Democratic Republic of Sri Lanka, Velupali Kananetha, noted that relations with both countries will be further consolidated with their consideration for local culture, traditional rulers, and institutions. He said the president told the High Commissioner of the United Kingdom that the diplomatic relations, spanning many years, had been sustained on mutual respect for cultures, assuring that all courtesies will be extended to him to make his stay in Nigeria memorable. The president told the British diplomat that a good understanding of cultural differences and respect for institutions paved way for most of the successes the United Kingdom had recorded, noting that previous diplomats had established relations with the Sultan of Sokoto, Emir of Kano, Shehu of Borno, and Emir of Ilorin, the Asian gateway to the north. In a different development, President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the Kashimbila Multipurpose Dam, 40 megawatts hydropower station, and associated 132 kV switchyard transmission line and distribution substation Phase 1 project located at the Kashimbila Dam site in Taraba State. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari spoke at a virtual ceremony held at the Council Chamber, State House, Abuja, where he underscored the importance of the project, highlighting its role in his administration's commitment to achieving the targets of 30 gigawatts of electricity in the country by 2030 under the Electricity Vision 30-30-30. About 65 world leaders, including heads of state, have been invited to grace the inauguration of President-elect Bola Tinubu, who will be sworn in as the 16th president of Nigeria on May 29. Addressing journalists in Abuja on Thursday as activity of the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa disclosed that the scores of world leaders who would attend the event, also expected at the nation's 7th transition ceremony, are past presidents, diplomats, heads of international organizations, prominent Nigerians, as well as representatives of foreign governments and agencies.
Leave keys.
I be person picking, I get feelings too. My mind is splitting too. I love you, but I love Cindy too. Girl, you can't just tell me if you want Jimmy Choo. Cindy got a Louis too. So many other.
On Thursday, as activities for the transition of power to the incoming administration began, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, disclosed that scores of war leaders would attend the events. Also expected at the nation's 7th transition ceremony are past presidents, diplomats, heads of international organizations, and prominent Nigerians, as well as representatives and agencies. The inauguration programs will with the Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic and the Vice President-elect Kashif Shettima as the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger. Nigerian armed forces have said troops of Operation Hardin Kai zone of the country have sustained the offensive against terrorists and other criminal elements within the zone through intense ground and air operations, which have yielded tremendous successes. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Damandami, made this known while keeping journalists abreast with the operational activities of the armed forces of Nigeria in the last 2 weeks. Kekelomo Okere has details.
According to the Director of Defense Media Operations, in the past 2 weeks, both kinetic and non-kinetic operations were conducted in the various theaters of operations with significant results. It reels out that on the 10th of May 2023, an air interdiction operations was conducted at identified Boko Haram terrorist Islamic State of West African Province terrorist enclave at Arege. The location was sited with several terrorists and gun trucks. Accordingly, the location was bombarded, and feedback revealed that several terrorists were neutralized and their gun trucks destroyed in the airstrike. The Land, Maritime and Air component of Joint Task Force Operation Delta Save have sustained the fight against oil theft and other criminal elements in the zone. Accordingly, troops conducted patrols, raids, anti-illegal oil refining, and swap buggies operations at different locations within Bayelsa, Delta, and Rivers States, respectively, aimed at denying oil theft and other criminal elements freedom of action, thereby creating an enabling environment for economic activities to thrive within the zone. The military high command, however, commends the unrelenting effort of the troops and other security agencies in the various theaters of operations across the country. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News, Abuja.
The United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken has spoken with President-elect Bola Tinubu in a 20-minute long telephone conversation to emphasize his continued commitment to further strengthen the U.S.-Nigeria relations with the incoming administration. Blinken said the U.S.-Nigeria partnership is built on shared interests and strong people-to-people ties, adding that efforts should be geared towards strengthening ties between both countries under Atiku Abubakar, PDP presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, who is challenging Tinubu's victory at the tribunal, said the Secretary of State's assurances of bilateral cooperation contradicted the position of the U.S. on the general election in Nigeria. The chief spokesman for Obidati Presidential Campaign Council, Yunusa Tanko, said it was worrisome for Blinken to be discussing bilateral relations with Tinubu. The development came as after Joe Biden administration had announced the imposition of visa restrictions on Nigerians who had allegedly disrupted their recently concluded elections. The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja has fixed today, May 19, 2023, for the continuation of pre-hearing petition filed by the presidential candidates of Labour Party against the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. At the resumed hearing, Counsel for Labour Party Lebi Uzoku informed the court that the scheduled meeting to agree on documents to be tendered for hearing have not yielded much result, as the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has only made available 30% of the documents required from them. Chung Anamel Joseph now brings us details.
Counsel for Labour Party says the party is yet to get documents with respect to Rivers State, where the resident electoral commissioner said there are no forms EC8A available to be given, but is yet to put that in writing despite requests to do so. Adding that this is contrary to the commitment by the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, that all documents required shall be made available.
Now that INEC has a lead counsel, I believe that something good may come out of a chat that I'm supposed to have with him today. Because until now, if you ask me, and I say it with every degree of emphasis, that INEC sees itself as a candidate in an election that it conducted. I say it with every degree of emphasis, going by the conduct of INEC, and that is true. Now, you would have noticed, for those of you who were in court, that no other party is complaining about not getting any documents. You should ask the question, why is it so?
Counsel for INEC, Abubakar Mahmoud, however, says he is taken aback by the allegations of the counsel for the Labour Party, as they did not show up for the meeting as agreed and walked out of the rescheduled meeting. Abubakar added that the documents for Rivers and Sokoto states were provided, but the Labour Party refused to pay the sum of 1.5 million naira for Sokoto State and the form EC8A for Rivers State. Chung Anamel Joseph, Global News.
You're watching the AM News here on Global TV, coming to you live on Star Times channel 276 from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. You can follow us across our social media platforms. The handle is at Global TV NG. We have more stories for you right after this break. Don't go away. Thank you for staying with us on the AM News here on Global TV. In addressing critical healthcare challenges affecting newborns, children and mothers, Public Healthcare Board, PHCB, in collaboration with Helen Keller International and other agencies, have organized a one-week intensive outreach in the Federal Capital Territory. The Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week is slated to hold between 22 and 26 of May 2023. Texi Otung has details.
It was attended by media professionals from various organizations, sought ways on how to create awareness on the upcoming Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week in Abuja, with its primary aim at reducing newborn and maternal mortality.
It's not only FCT. Nationwide implementation of Maternal and Child Health Week as one of the initiatives to reduce unacceptably high death rate among vulnerable groups. It's a one-week intervention program, not only to create the presence of health services, but also to create awareness that government remain committed to the caring of Nigerians to have access to free medical services. Because during this 1 week, every service that would the Nigerians or FCT residents would access would be free of charge. We usually have problem with AMAG. And what is the problem? Because of the size, sometimes we mix out some children.
Records showed that there has been a decline with the current maternal mortality at 576 per 100,000 live births. The outreach, which is scheduled to take place from the 22nd to the 26th of May, aims to promote access to essential healthcare services with needed care and vitamins provided for children, those within the reproductive age, and pregnant women.
We're going to give in vitamin A supplementation to all children from 6 to 59 months, deworming tablets for children from 12 months to 59 months, nutritional assessment, birth registration, health promotion on key household practices, and other preventive services.
Critical stages of maternal, newborn, and child health care were highlighted, underscoring the need for early and regular prenatal care, safe deliveries, postnatal support, immunization, and proper nutrition. Tessie Otung reporting for Global TV.
Maureen Singh, an Islamic State supporter behind the deadliest terror attack in New York since 9/11, has been told he will die in prison serving multiple life sentences. Seyfulo Saipov killed 8 when he drove a truck at pedestrians and cyclists on the Manhattan Street in 2017. He was given 10 life sentences, 8 of which run consecutively, plus 260 years, and will never be released. As he was sentenced, he was told he had destroyed so many lives, but showed no remorse during the trial. Saipov was confronted by the victims' families and survivors in court, with the judge noting that his sheer unrepentant nature during sentencing on Wednesday. Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, has been attacked from the air by Russia for the 9th time this month. Kyiv's authorities said it seemed all incoming missiles had been destroyed, but debris falling from air caused some damage into districts. Officials say 1 person has been killed and 2 more wounded in the missile strike on the Black Sea port of Odessa. Blasts were also heard in the central western regions of Vinnytsia, Kamensky, and Zhytomyr. In a statement, Ukraine's Air Force said 29 out of 30 missiles launched by Russia overnight were shot down. As we take a look at sports now, Manchester City have booked their place against Inter Milan for the final of the UEFA Champions League after a 4-0 demolition of Real Madrid, a 5-1 aggregate win in the second leg of their semi-final clash at the Etihad Stadium. 2 goals from Bernardo Silva in the first half were enough to overwhelm the defending champions as they struggled to get into the game. Carlo Ancelotti's side tried to rally after the break, but the own goal from Eder Militao and the final straw that came from Julian Alvarez's strike at stoppage time were enough to seal a showdown with Inzaghi Milan side in Istanbul come June 10. With 2 finals secured, Manchester City faced Chelsea on Sunday in the Premier League, hoping to clinch a 3rd consecutive title. As we talk more sports now, Brentford striker Ivan Toney has been banned from football for 8 months after he accepted breaking Football Association betting rules. Tony has also been charged £50,000 and warned about his future conduct for 332 breaches of the FA's betting rules. His suspension starts immediately, but the 27-year-old can return to training with Brentford 4 months before it ends on 17 September. He will not be allowed to play again until 17 January 2024. Posting on his Instagram story, Tony said he was naturally disappointed at the verdict and would make no further comment until the Independent Regulatory Commission publishes its written reasons. And that's all for the AM News. Always remember, we're on Star Times channel 276. You can follow us across all of our social media platforms at Global TV NG. Thank you so very much for watching. I am Muyi Agumofwegbe. Have a great morning.